What's up, all you Minties? Back by popular demand is my monthly graphic novel, Hidden Gems. So, let's get started. And welcome back, everybody. That's right, you all demanded this. You all wanted this back. I guess demand is such a wrong word to use. You all asked me, and of course, I love doing this segment. It was just the last couple of months have been really busy, but here we are again with more of the Hidden Gems, 5 more to be exact. Now, with graphic novel Hidden Gems, of course, I always talk about books that not a lot of people talk about, but you may have heard of, or you may have heard of all 5 of these. And one of my favorite parts about this segment is when people leave comments down below suggesting some books. I found some of my favorite graphic novels that way. So by all means, please leave those comments down below. You may see books on the list that you're like, why is this on the list? Well, it's just my list. Does not make yours invalid. So let's go ahead and get started. Kicking off this list is Chrononauts by Mark Millar and Sean Murphy. And this is published by Image Comics. I know you're probably thinking, why do I have a Mark Millar book on this list? Because I'm not the biggest fan of Mark Millar. And I know that sounds blasphemous to a lot of people, but you know, like a lot of people hold Civil War, Superman Red Son, or Ultimate X-Men, or Old Man Logan up on a pedestal. And honestly, his writing for me has always just been okay. This to me was a lot of fun though. I had a lot of fun with this particular book. And it's mainly because of the 2 characters. So this is a 2-volume set. Each volume collects 4 issues. And this is geared more towards the mature audience, but honestly I think older teens would be fine reading this. So this tells the story of Corbin Quinn and Danny Riley, who are 2 scientists, and they're trying to find out this phenomenon that's going around the world. There are time displacements occurring. So there are cars that are being found under Mayan ruins. There's a jet fighter plane that was lost sometime in the Vietnam War and was just recently found in an English mound, under an English mound. So that's really cool. I like that mystery. And of course, what follows is a lot of fun and time displacement mishap. So it's these 2 characters who aren't really the most likable characters. They're kind of jerks, but they're kind of funny. Maybe that's why I dug the book so much. It doesn't take itself seriously. And that's what comics are supposed to be from time to time. Fun, adventurous, never taking itself too seriously. We get enough of that from all the publishers. So if you're looking for something that's thought-provoking, a highbrow graphic novel, this is not the one. This is just pure fun, adrenaline, bazookas on cars, half-naked women, guys just telling inappropriate jokes, and adventurous. And that's the way I can sum up this graphic novel here. Apocalyptic Girl. This is published by Dark Horse Comics, and it is written by Andrew MacLean. And this particular book, I did an overview of a couple of years ago, and it was previously published by Dark Horse in a softcover format, and now this is the hardcover format. I really enjoyed this. This to me feels like an all-ages book, and it's in an all-in-one. You don't need to read anything before this, and you don't need to read anything afterwards. So this takes place, like the title suggests, in a apocalyptic world where the world has ended and we just have one lady living there, and her name is Arya, and she has a mission. She's trying to find this old relic, and her only companion is her little cat named Jellybean. Now there are other people around. There's savages that are around. There's machinery that she finds. So it's a big mystery as to how all this happened. And I think that's why I enjoyed it. There's an eeriness to this particular story. You really feel like she's alone there and all she has is her cat. And I really like that. It reminds me of something out of a Twilight Zone episode. And I think one of the things that stood out to me is just the artwork. I think MacLean's artwork really stands out. Even though it reminds me a lot of like something that you would find on Cartoon Network recently, which I'm not that fond of, I know. But I don't know, just something about it, the artwork really fits this particular story. And of course it helps that he's both the writer and artist, and the color tones that he uses are wonderful. But yes, I really enjoy this. It's a quick read and one that I strongly suggest. Welcome Back by Christopher Sabella, Jonathan Brandon Sawyer, and Claire Rowe. And this is published by Boom Studios. But before we go any further, look at this cover. Let's talk about this cover. It really stands out. I love it. Reminds me of Chris Bacalo's artwork. Bacalo, depending on how you say his name. And all the covers for the single issues look just like this. I don't know what it is, but I was drawn to it. And before going any further, a huge shout out to one of my viewers, Darkstar916, for sending this my way. He was a big fan of the series and suggested I read it, and I loved it. I thought it was great. So let's talk about the book. So we have the story of Mally and Tessa, who are soldiers on opposite sides. So they're at war with each other. And they're at war with each other, we find out, through a millennium. They are just destined to fight each other, being reborn each time one of them dies. However, when Mally is reborn in her most recent life, she wakes up asking questions. And these are legit questions, like, why are we fighting? Why have we been fighting for so long? What is this about? And I like that about it, because you're thrown in the middle of this story and you yourself ask questions, and now that the main character is asking these questions with you, you get to find out together as to why all of this has been happening and how the mystery all unveils itself is actually pretty cool. That's one of my favorite things about the book. Because you also have Tessa on the other end, and she's not questioning anything. She is on the hunt. So there's only 2 trade paperbacks of this, each one of these trades collecting 4 issues. This one has mature content in there, but I think older teen would be fine. And I love the artwork in this, both by Sawyer and by Rowe. They both have their own distinct art styles. Sawyer has more of like Humberto Ramos anime look to it, whereas Rowe has more of a traditional anime feel to it. But the action sequences, and it is action-packed. I mean, teeth and nails. It's freaking awesome. Just the action sequences that they're able to draw is freaking awesome. Like the chase scenes and the gun battles. Oh, it's great. I think this would make a really fun animated series, honestly. Maybe like something like HBO Max. Now, this great artwork all is put together by the wonderful colors of Carlos Zamudio. And his colors and the tone that he uses in the book reminds me of Tank Girl. So it has a little bit of like European look to it, anime, Western style, and all of that also is the way that the story is laid out too, in just a mixture of all these different cultures. Probably why it made it on the list and why it stood out to me. The Beautiful Death by Matthew Bablé. This is published by Statix Press, which is part of Titan Press. So I guess Titan Press did publish this. So this was originally published in French. It is mature content, and this is a tale that is in our distant future. So it is also set here on Earth, kind of like Apocalyptic Girl. Maybe I had a thing for apocalyptic future stories. I don't know. But this one stands out a little bit different. Whereas that one just featured Arya and her cat, this one features a group of 3 friends. So this futuristic world has been taken out by a bunch of insect creatures. So these insect creatures have killed humanity and have taken over. And the world has ended. Now we meet Wayne, Jeremiah, and Soham. And they're out there surviving this apocalypse by just gathering food, going back to their room. And that's how they spend their day. They're just going in this unnamed city and scavenging for supplies. Now they haven't met anyone for a long time, and that's about to change, of course. What I really enjoyed about this was the relationship between the characters and how they interact with each other. And you can't take anything for granted. Any of these characters could turn on you, and that's what I like about it. But also the fact that there's really no black and white. There's this gray area with all these characters. Not all of them are good, not all of them are bad. There's just somewhere down the middle. And I think that's the way humanity is. The other thing I loved about this was the detailed artwork. While the characters themselves and the facial features don't really stand out to me, I think the backgrounds are some of the most beautiful backgrounds I've seen in a comic book in a long time. They kind of remind me of the attention to detail that Katsuhiro Otomo put in his manga work on Akira. I just love the buildings and the designs, the skyscraper. I mean, it really feels like the city that they're in has just fallen apart. So if you've not read this, do yourself a favor. It's a beautiful book. It's available in hardcover format. This is all in one. Everything is collected in this particular hardcover. And wrapping up this Hidden Gems list this month is Swords of the Swashbucklers by Bill Mantlo and Jackson Guice. This is published by Dynamite Comics. I've done a review of this book actually a couple years ago. I forgot when I pulled it off the shelf and I started to reread it. I thought, wait, I just recently read this, even though it was a couple of years ago. So this is definitely all ages. And this was originally a Marvel book. This was published as part of their graphic novel line and then part of their epic line. So everything that you need is collected in here. There was a follow-up. I think Greg Pak or Mark Guggenheim did something of a follow-up. And I think Dynamite ended up publishing it. So after the end of Micronauts, which of course was Bill Mantlo, Jackson Guice, they got together and decided to make these characters. So this is the story of Domino Blackthorn Drake, who's a normal girl, quote-unquote normal girl, because really there's not that many of those in a Bill Mantlo story. And then she stumbles across an alien artifact, and she acquires all these powers. See what I mean by normal girl? And she becomes just like this beacon for an intergalactic war. So it's her and her cat, Captain Kidd, that's the name of the cat, and they run into these space pirates. So they all meet the fearless Radier, Captain Radier. She's charismatic. She's the captain of the ship. So together with all of Radier's crewmates, they embark on this cosmic odyssey to fight against the colonizer empire. So everything from beginning to end is all in this book. Now, not only do you have Jackson Guice's wonderful artwork, and it's beautiful in here, but you also have Jeff Isherwood, and you also have Colleen Doran, who ends up wrapping up the stories. So think Star Wars meets Pirates. I mean, do I need to say anything else? Star Wars meets Pirates? Come on, that's a selling point. It's available in hardcover format, and this is a standard size hardcover format. Like I said, I think there were follow-up series, but I haven't read them. But I think this has everything from beginning to end. As far as the story of Domino and Radier, it's all included in here. And that, as they say, is that. And if you're interested in any of these books, don't forget to check out our sponsor, CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online source for collected editions up to 50% off retail price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on excellent packaging, so your stuff gets to you in excellent condition, and they have amazing customer service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And for all you Minties that are watching, if you're a first-time customer, don't forget to mention that Near Mint Condition sent you their way for a promotional credit on free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for U.S. customers. CheapGraphicNovels.com, your source for the hottest books with deep discounts, customer service, and excellent shipping that will keep you coming back for more. And that was my Hidden Gem segment for the month of June of 2021. Let me know in those comments down below what you've read recently that you would love to show up in the segment. Please, by all means, make suggestions. I would love to take suggestions and read something. And if you've read any of these, what you thought. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. We are on Patreon and on Spreadshop. You can get our t-shirts, hats, mugs with our logos. We have different logos. All of that is in the description of the video below. And more importantly, all of you, please stay healthy, stay safe, and much love.